Sunday in the momentous year of 1776, Christians gathered outside a church at Cherrystone near the town we know as Cape Charles, Virginia. Now, they had no idea they were about to witness something of a religious revolution.
Well, Jim Duffy of the Secrets of the Eastern Shore fame has a holiday story for us today. First, I need to warn you to hang on to your Easter bonnet because it's got a few twists and turns. Think food fights, jail time, and a foiled kidnapping.
Happy Easter.
On Easter?
Happy Easter.
What is it?
That didn't actually. The story starts on Easter.
Oh, okay.
It evolves into the hold on to your Easter bonnet stuff. All right. So these people gather for Easter service in Cherrystone, and the preacher doesn't show up, which, you know, they were riding on horse from place to place. Maybe he got thrown from the horse or whatever. It's not like he could send a text and saying, I can't come. So there's a bunch of disappointed people. And this young guy, 27 years old, stands up, complete stranger, nobody knows him, says, how about if I preach? Why don't you listen to me? Most people went home, but some people followed him out into the woods, and he stepped up onto like an old tree stump or something like that, and started preaching. And the people noticed that he was very different. The Anglican preachers, it was a big Anglican Church of England thing going on in Virginia at that time. They kind of ruled the roost. But he wasn't like that. The Anglican preachers were educated. They talked like college professors. Right. This guy was a man of low parentage and small learning.
Oh,
so,
my. Okay.
you know, what is a working class schlub doing trying to preach? And plus he's saying strange things like, don't baptize infants. Wait until you're an adult and you can make the decision yourself. And when you make that decision, go like full immersion, no drops of holy water on the forehead. You dive all the way into Jesus in the nearest pond or lake. And most controversially, you don't need kings or bishops or preachers. You read the Bible, you pray, you figure it out for yourself, a concept known as the priesthood of all believers.
Oh.
So most people were kind of ticked off to hear this, but a few people were kind of interested, so he promised them that he would come back at Pentecost, another Christian holiday, 50 days later. He went back to the western shore of Virginia, which is where he had grown up, and he'd grown up and taken a wayward path, but God in his mercy checked him in his sensual desires and gave him a new direction. He comes back for Pentecost. He never goes back to the western shore of Virginia. He stays on the eastern shore of Virginia, the eastern shore of Maryland, and Delaware for the next 29 years. Plants 15 Baptist churches. The sermon he gave in the woods that day was the first Baptist sermon ever spoken on the eastern shore of Virginia.
So a Baptist sermon caused that much controversy?
It caused a lot of controversy. As I said, it was all Anglican thing. There were a few, Quakers and Methodists wandering around, but they were kind of weird little people who believed weird things. And so it was the same thing with Baptists. So it was crazy. So he goes to Accomack in 1778, and the Anglicans are none too happy to see him. So the first thing they do is they come up with these trumped up charges, and they arrest him on a charge of vagrancy. He goes into jail. He can't pay the bail to get out of jail, so he spends 56 days in jail in the middle of summer. It's hot in there. But what does he do? He preaches through the jail window every day. People did not react well. They threw fruit at him. They threw rocks at him. Finally, his trial day comes, and the Anglicans know they don't have a case against him, so they don't even bother to show up. So they let him go, but the Anglicans have a backup plan. They kidnap him. They throw him on a ship bound for Europe. Now, there's a couple of legends about some dramatic escape kind of thing, but that's probably not what happened. What happened was this preacher asked the ship's captain if he could preach to his crew, and the ship's captain heard him preaching to his crew and said, I don't want any part of kidnapping this man who seems like such a true believer. So his name was Elijah Baker, and he proceeded to plant 15 churches all over our Delmarva Peninsula. I think it was 5 in Virginia, 6 in Maryland, 4 in Delaware, something like that. He died at the too young age of 56 in Salisbury, where he was visiting a friend. He's buried somewhere in Salisbury, but I don't believe that anyone knows where.
Wow.
And
Interesting.
all the way up to the end, he wrote a farewell letter to his brother, and he was still talking about saving souls and how many people he baptized.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
reading that, I wonder if he ever imagined a day when 100 million people all over the world would be heading to Baptist churches on Easter
How about
Sunday.
that?
Or if he went to church in Accomack, Virginia, where he was in jail all that time, if they would see a historic marker in his honor,
Yeah.
right in the heart of town.
Interesting.
Happy
How
Easter.
about that?
Jim, we're out of time, but real quick, we wanted to let everyone know that you have a storytelling, I guess, event coming up.
Yes, in Denton at the Caroline County Library next Tuesday, the Tuesday after Easter at 6:30. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Okay. Author and storyteller Jim Duffy, Secrets of the Eastern Shore. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
again.
coming in this afternoon.
Always love it when you're here.
Thanks.
Oh,
Happy
my
Easter.
goodness. Wow.